Welcome everybody to the Season 9 RBN podcast. Today is episode 4, talking about everything that's happened so far up to Series 6, looking into the future for the playoffs and the awards. I have with me Doug
Welcome. Hello. Thank you.
and Carm.
Say yeah.
So, uh, lots of competitive games up to this point in the season, and just today there was a one-run game last night, a one-run game that went 9 innings, in fact. And just
Yep.
looking back, all of the games, except for the NAS UPS game, the last 5 games have all been within 2 runs for either direction. The RBC is getting very competitive. What do y'all think
Yeah.
about the recent games?
I think it's a highly positive reflection of the star system, but just looking at the games themselves, I think there's a lot more to prove, especially for a team like Unionport, where they managed to beat West Virginia. But then again, it's West Virginia, so I can't wait to see what they can do in Series 7 against Rock Valley.
I
Okay.
think one of the reasons these past couple of games have been successful is mainly because this series is like the most balanced series, in that the two worst teams are facing each other, the two middle teams are facing each other, and the two best teams are facing each other.
Are you calling
So
Mac a middle team? Doug, that's dangerous.
even with the Aces, I mean, obviously you've got the Spartans and Cougars, but I would put them around the Aces level
Really?
at the current day and age.
Interesting.
But I don't know. I think they've been very even series, and I think this series lined up perfectly with how close we are to the playoffs. I think
Yeah.
it's pivotal for most teams. It's nice to see the Suns actually getting some wins, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mac, with their last win, clinched both the playoffs and number 1 seed at the same time. So,
They,
yeah.
you know what? They may have clinched it, but they haven't clinched the World Series yet, and we're gonna give them a run for their money. I genuinely think that Rock is gonna be a highly impactful acquisition.
I can see where you're coming from with that. On the other side of the coin, Rock Valley is a win or a Suns loss away from clinching, and NAS is one of each or 2 total from clinching playoffs. Meanwhile, Alaska is 2.5, or I guess 3 West Virginia losses or Aces wins from clinching their playoff spot.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like we're gonna pull through.
No, I think the Aces will keep their spot.
I do too. Let's look at
Whether they'll beat the Knights, I'm not sure. But
that'll be an interesting series. I feel like the MLCS and RLCS this season will probably be closer than the World Series,
Yeah.
just based on how we've seen
Could
these
be.
teams play each other this season.
The one thing that I'm very upset about is that we didn't get to play Rock Valley at all this season.
I am also disappointed with that. When the schedule was made, the first half was made, and then it was just flipped home and away, instead of
that's
ensuring
always
that
how I do.
instead of ensuring that all teams get to play all other teams, which I suppose is understandable. However, it is quite disappointing that MAC and AA will not be able to face each other this season.
Yeah. Because that would have been a very fun matchup.
Maybe Mac and RVC.
No. RVC and AA.
You said Mac and A.
Oh, did I? I meant
Yes.
RVC and AA. Sorry.
Okay.
Um,
Alright. Awards.
oh yeah, the awards have been renamed after different players. The MVP is staying the same. Rookie of the Year is staying the same. Manager of the Year is now the Doug 42 Leadership Award. The Most Improved Player is now the aschlemmer Development Award. The Silver Slugger is the AJ128VG Slugger Award. Cy Young is the Car Mushroom 2 Ace Award. The Hank Aaron is the Ryan XVI Dinger Award. And the Gold Glove is the Guess Rizzo Dime Award. That was something that was proposed to the board and voted up, I believe, unanimously. And I think it's a really cool thing that we've added.
um, I'm sorry, I talk about him every stream, but you have to admit the skill level of uncomparable though. He's a rookie and he's already leading the league in batting average and on base percentage, and he's probably gonna manage to keep that up. Like,
Entirely likely.
I mean, it's just like I haven't seen a player just like come out of nowhere and just be able to put up stats like that. Like over seasoned veterans like myself, AJ, like you, Ash, and Doug as well. Like I mean, I can't really name a player that could do that.
Yeah, but I feel that him, as well as all the other lesser-known names who are performing at these high levels, will likely be exposed in the playoffs, because in the playoffs, when you have such long series, you really learn how players play and their different styles and such. And I feel like that against a team like Mac, with all of the resources, the history, and experience they have, I think they'll be able to read him eventually. Whether that comes in Game 1 of the MLCS or Game 5, we'll see. But I feel like he'll eventually crack.
I mean, I think he could one day, but you know, he's got me, Rizzo, and Rock training him, so I think he's gonna be okay.
Meanwhile, Mac was able to
there was
play
any
through the hype.
question.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I don't think there's any question that he's not being trained properly.
Oh, yeah. No, he's
And
being
just how
trained
Ash is
very
saying,
well.
He could be red.
I'm just saying that, especially with rookies and people who don't have as much experience, they find something that works and they do it the exact same every time. And eventually that style gets exposed and screwed up.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about all the best players, is that the best players have adapted to any situation.
Yeah, like you see the seasoned vets batting 450 to 500 this season, not because they're not as good as the rookies batting 800, but because they've been around long enough to where the good pitchers know how they've hit, to where they can find counters to them.
I have a question. For playoffs, are we gonna keep a stat leaderboard for playoffs, or
I
no?
think I might make a separate sheet for playoff stats.
Yeah, they're not the same at all. It's a whole separate thing. Because playoff performances always differ from season performances.
Yeah, I was just curious if we were gonna also keep track of that, or if we were just gonna play the PO as the PO.
Also, should we have a World Series MVP award?
Yes.
That's something that we think we should.
I mean, I suppose if we take stats for that, we can look at them to see who the actual MVP was.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was obvious in that, oh, this player obviously produced the most.
Yeah, but I feel like we need to, I think we should make an award for that, just as a official thing.
Doug, are the awards, are we keeping their physical shape the same and just like changing what's written on it, or like
Probably, which reminds me, I still have to do that. At the moment, I would say yes. Possibly in the future, I might redesign them, but I'm not in the mood to.
I don't see a reason to redesign them. We rarely ever see them.
Exactly, and it's not like you can hold them anyway. You just walk up next to it.
Yeah.
I feel like saying that, granted that Doug has the time to do it eventually. Like, I feel like the awards that a player wins should potentially be on display at the stadium of the team in which they won it on.
Perhaps.
That would change so often, though.
No.
Players are always getting changed, so you don't.
No. Like, it's the team that they win it with. Like, let's say I win MVP this year with Aces, but I go to Venezuela next season. Like, the trophy would still stay at Alaska.
I don't know. I feel like that should be something that
would have to have their own office area or like historical booth or whatnot, and that's where all that stuff is kept.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I feel like it would be a nice way because, it's like keeping the history at the stadiums of like what's happened.
I mean, it's a nice idea.
But we should do that on a team-by-team basis based on interest of team owners and players.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about more, or let's predict these awards, really. That's something that we should. Let's start
let's start
with the RL. Let's do the RL first.
Alright, MVP. You know, I'm not going to comment on the...
Between Carm, AJ, even though he's not bad. He's not playing to the standards that he used to. I would give it between. This is a toughie. Karm is definitely in the running. Then after that, if Uncomparable starts carrying, then he would be
in
in
the
there.
outfield.
Either way,
AJ,
I don't know if he could win MVP. He just won Rookie of the Year.
I know. AJ's probably in the running. Squeaker could theoretically be in the running because his pitching has been lights out this season against everybody.
I agree, but the only reason why I wouldn't give my personal vote to Raxos for MVP is because MVP is most valuable player, and that means being applicable to like
It's an
various,
all-around.
yeah,
Being
all
good
around.
all-around.
And he is
Yeah.
not batting well
Yeah,
at
his
all.
batting average.
I mean, if he starts batting well, then he'll definitely be in there. But right now, I see it between AJ and Karm as my top two.
Why
um,
AJ though? I mean, he's a little under 500.
I mean, nobody
And
in
his
the
pitching
ML
isn't-
other than
I don't know.
I don't know. He is
I mean-
3-0 on the season. He's pitching quite well. His PEC is in 3.36, which is well above average.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that I'm winning MVP until it happens, but I'm just gonna say that I beat AJ in every single stat in pitching and batting.
Yeah. But yeah, that's that. Rookie of the Year, uncomparable. Moving on, Leadership Award, Manager of the Year. Are we extending that to head coaches this season?
I feel like we
I don't
100%
think
should.
so.
I feel like it should be applicable to coaches. Because we have had it in the past before where a coach has deserved to win it, and if we've had it in a situation where it's been needed before, we're definitely going to need it again in the future.
I think we should have a
Even
board vote.
still,
on
I
that.
would not give it to coaches often.
I think we can talk about it on the board meeting.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on Monday.
Be a discussion.
Anyway, moving on. Oh, we should probably talk about who would win it. If it's team owners, Alex. If it's coaches, Karm. That's all. Well, actually, if it's owners, then it's close between Alex and Bag, but I would give it to Alex.
Yeah, no, I would give it to Alex because as much as I love you back, like I've been training these guys.
Yeah. Development Award, Most Improved Player. Who's getting the Ash in the ML? Let's see.
You mean the RL?
Yeah, RL, sorry.
I'd
Tortle or Cool
probably-
Gunner? Probably
Yeah, no,
Tortle. Actually, I don't know.
No, I'd go with
Rookie?
I would go with Cool Gunner because isn't Tortle a rookie?
Yeah,
No,
exactly. He
he's
can't-
not. There's no way he's a rookie. He's had stats. That's why he's a 2-star.
All right,
I remember he
way.
has a I think his name is like Gords23 or something. Or no, he's
Look.
he's
Either way, I
Saraza.
don't
He's
have any
Saraza.
recollection of him in the
Tortle
past.
is Saraza. They were in the league in season 4. They were on Charlotte for like 3 games. They're not a rookie. They're, however, new, but they were
I would
performing
not
pretty
give him most
decently.
improved.
all right,
I
In
think
my
we
opi-
should give it to Cool Gunner if we had to pick somebody.
yeah, because I would give it to Cyber because I just remember that when he retired, he was playing awful.
Awful. Yeah,
That's true.
he was playing
And-
quite bad.
And he's turned it around to at least be able to hold his own, which is very respectable.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, AJ Slugger Award.
Batting average. Whoever ends with the highest batting average.
Yeah,
It could be.
I think that's really just
Right now,
between me
the
and
top
Calm.
3 is Calm, Uncomparable, and I think I have the third one.
I think it is absolutely hilarious how Comp and I are the 2 leading players in batting average and on base percentage.
The rest of your team is so below average.
Yeah, we have the second lowest team batting average.
Thinking about that, I kind of want to move away from the awards discussion for a second to think: will these below average players really inhibit AA in the playoffs?
I mean, all right. I'm just gonna say, me personally as a coach, today before your game, I spent around like 40 minutes with my team. Specifically WoW, Sub, Tesla, and JS, and we just kept on working on batting because I was so furious after last night. Because if you want the exact stats, myself and Comp were the only players to have hits yesterday. My team went 5 for 30.
That's
That's
165
Yeah.
batting average.
No, it's 167, and I was absolutely furious, as any coach would be. And like I'm seriously considering not letting players play if they haven't shown that they can bat in practice. Like if you're not going to be able to bat, then you're just being a liability to the team itself.
Yes,
Yeah.
but wouldn't that cause problems if you bench the majority of your team for not actually working? Or
No,
doing the job?
because a majority of my team is working. Like Rockefeller, he was a little bit rusty, got some hits in.
Naturally. Well, no,
He
he just joined today, so how could he have played?
No, I mean he like showed up to the practice.
I see.
But cool fact, his first game back in RBC will be against his only team.
Spartans, right?
Yep. Um but I think Rockefeller is going to be a huge impact. I've also been working with WoW. The thing with comp versus WoW is that, well, yeah, comp is a pitcher that can definitely show himself in the future. WoW already has that veteran experience, so the information that I can share with WoW, he's going to be able to do a much better job of applying it in game.
Right.
So I've been working with WoW on pitching, and he's honestly really improved. I think he's going to do a lot better in being able to keep his hits allowed and earned runs down. And I think his PEC, KIP, and ERA are all going to improve significantly.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that.
If he can keep his head, then sure.
Yeah, I mean, the things, when I get a toxic player, the one thing I say to them is that I'm not going to put up with your shit if you fuck up once, like I'm benching you until you prove that you can play.
Right.
Because like it's such a waste of time. I'm not gonna fucking put up with it. My bad, excuse my language, but I'm not gonna put up with it.
Okay. Let's
Fair.
move on back to the awards. So where were we? We just did the
Slugger.
improvement award, slugger. Okay.
Slugger.
Now
meaning
the ace award. In the RL, I will have to give it to Squeaker. He's just been so dominant this season. I don't know why or how, but he's just been killing it on the mound.
All right, Ash. Let me give you a scenario here. I win the record for most Ks in the season. Does that change the dynamic?
No.
Even though I broke a record.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think that changes it. He's just been overall more dominant on the mound. Strikeouts just mean you get more strikeouts. That doesn't mean that you're a better pitcher.
All right. If my PEC and ERA are both lower, or which my PEC, no, my PEC is
What
not,
is
but
the tech-
if my PEC and ERA both become lower than his, or just my PEC alone, would that change the dynamic?
Maybe, but it'll all be up to Doug in the end, and I think he'll go with the person
Alright.
he believes is the better pitcher.
Because Doug, keep in mind that PEC is a combination of all that shows the efficiency of the pitcher.
So
Yes,
lower
Carm.
numbers better. Yes.
Yes. But I again, the two top contenders are obviously Squeaker and Carm, and we'll have to see who pitches better, both in the regular season and in the playoffs, to see who will win that award. The Dinger Award. Who has more dingers right now in the RL? There haven't been really many home run hitters in the RL.
Bag currently
Bag has
leads
4.
it,
He leads.
but there are quite a few people that can threaten that. That
Alex
being
and Torn have
myself,
3. You have 3.
Alex, Torn, and myself are currently the 3 main contenders that can threaten Bag's chances of winning.
Tortle, Cool Gunner, Uncomparable, Wow. They all have 2.
Yeah.
A lot fewer home runs in the RL than the ML.
Yeah. Because I think I feel like the difference between the RL and the ML is that the ML has a lot more batting greats, I guess you could say. So there's a lot more hitting that's done, while the RL has a lot more pitching based veterans.
Yeah, I suppose.
Next stat, Gold Glove. I think that's a no brainer that it's gonna go to Alex.
Yeah. It's almost certainly going to go to Alex, unless Bag or maybe even Turtle comes up and just kind of shows off that they have like highlight ability, because right now Alex is dominating, just both in stats and in game.
Yeah.
That's all for RL. Now on to ML. Carm, I'll let you lead this one.
Yeah, because you guys have some bias. All right, most valuable player in the ML. All right, I think it's really up for grabs between Ash, but the only I agree that it's between Juice, Ash. Yeah, Juice and Ash. The only reason why I don't say Dark Horse is because he's not batting above 400.
Is he not?
No.
385.
Oh, wow.
And Ash, the reason why I'm iffy on you versus Juice is because after today's game, you've got a bit to prove on the mound, because Spartans are going to be the team that you're facing in the MLCS, and if you're going to be playing like you were today, like that's going to be a problem for your team.
You know, I don't think I personally did too awful on the mound.
I don't
really have an
I don't
outfield
think you did
behind me.
awful. I just think
You
it
know.
hit you well.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. It's just that like you were a hittable pitcher tonight,
Yeah.
and if that stays consistent every time that you're going to be playing NAS, then it's going to be a liability.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it ends up.
Yeah, and Juice, the only reason why it's not a runaway for Juice is because he needs more innings as pitcher. That's purely it.
That's fair.
He hasn't really pitched against many hard teams, at least from what I've seen.
Yeah, like he's 2-0, has 11 innings pitched, 21 Ks. He definitely has the potential to go somewhere, but he hasn't been pitching, so it's hard to be able to say for certain.
Yeah.
Next is Rookie of the Year.
I personally... Wait, I didn't put in admin stats. That's right. Hold on.
I would not be certain on admin yet.
I think the only person that's like they just aren't rookies, so I feel like it would just naturally go to
The only
admin.
rookies I know that are in the ML is admin and now Spin.
And Amazing
And
B.
Quake.
And Quake. Quake's kind of bad.
Quake has
Unionport released all of their rookies for 1-stars from previous seasons. The only rookies are Amazing B Gaming Alt, who has played one game, went 0 for 0 with 2 walks, Admin Reuse, Quake Super, and Sped.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's just obvious that rookie's gonna go to
Unless Sped or Amazing B kind of just like dominate these next the rest of the
I would not
season.
underestimate Sped. What I've seen, he's actually going to be really good. If he
We'll see.
All right, Doug.
That'll go along with the rest of the season.
Doug 42 Leadership Award. It's it's gonna go to Ash or no, if it's just team owners, Doug's gonna win.
Obviously.
If it includes head coaches, then whoever is number 1 at the end of the season,
we'll see.
is gonna win it. Ash Development Award Most Improved.
Broken Elias.
Broken, yeah, for sure. He definitely has picked up his game to become.
He had a home run today, and he had three of the RBIs in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen him in all games, but from what I do know, just looking at the stats, he has gone from a below average player to certainly a player that you can rely on if you need.
The way he's performing this season, he'll be easily ranked a 4-star next season. At least in my personal opinion.
I feel like if he can get his batting stat over 450,
he's a 4-star caliber, but he's not there yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He said he has the potential to be a 4-star, but he's got to get some more innings in as a pitcher, because I mean his pitching stats are good, but they're not proportional to where they need to be.
I plan on pitching him against the Suns. I plan on pitching him and Amazing B Gaming.
His outfielding is okay. I mean, I don't really know.
His
how many
outfielding
games.
is actually quite impressive. He
It's
center
good.
fielded today, And when the hits weren't being screwed over by the left and right fielder, he was actually making quite a few plays. He got 3 assists today.
To me, the way I see it is, he has 46 at bats or 47 at bats, right? Let's say he's averaging 4 at bats a game. 47 divided by 4. That's how many games have we played?
Broken has been to every game, I believe.
So how many games is that?
That would be, I think today was the 11th game of the season for us.
Okay, so that means that he's having around 4.2 at bats per game, and you need to think about the fact that he's also playing outfield, like he's in the field when he's not batting, and when
Most
you guys
of
are
the
on
time
defense.
he's playing left or right field, and many of the teams we play against don't hit there, like at all.
I get that, but I mean, I just feel like 7 assists from the outfield, considering how long he's been playing for this season, isn't really up to 4-star bar. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose. We'll see at the off-season meetings.
Yeah, I mean, if he can hit 450 in batting average, then I think it could definitely become a conversation.
Yeah.
But also, like in the off season, are we gonna collectively, as a board, discuss like each individual player?
I think we should have a meeting and talk about it,
Or
like make an optional meeting.
You know, I feel
new board regulations every month there has to be one meeting.
I feel like when the season ends, like Ash said, optional. We should just have like an optional board meeting once every few days, and like at those meetings we'll do like an individual team each time, or like two teams, and just go through the entire roster and change the star ratings.
Yeah, but let's head back to awards.
Yes.
Silver Slugger in the RL.
That's gonna be
Jesus, ML. Sorry.
Doug could but yeah, Doug just needs to make sure that he stays above the minimum.
Yeah.
What is it?
Right now it's 20 at the end of the series. The best batting average in the ML is you.
545.
Right, at the moment.
Yeah. You need 32 ABs to be eligible for the Silver Slugger.
Since when was that a thing?
I mean, it's the minimum for the, like, you need 2 ABs per game according to the stat leaderboard.
Okay.
And I mean, if we didn't do that, then NLJ would win it because he's currently batting 750 with 8 at bats.
Right.
But yeah.
All right. Next is the Carmarthen 2 Ace Award. It's probably gonna go to Ash because, it could go to Ash or Juice or Delta. It purely depends on the innings that Juice and Delta get. The innings that actually no, Ash is good with the innings. It really depends on if Juice and Delta get the innings that they need, and if they can stay proportional within their stats, and if Delta can bring down his pec.
I think a pitcher that should also be looked at is Dar.
His
KIP is pretty low compared to a lot of the other contenders, but he hasn't been allowing many hits or runs this season, and even he's only allowed 1 earned run in 11 innings pitched.
I mean, yeah, it's just he needs the innings. A lot of it just comes down to can they get the innings in.
Yeah.
So I think the Carmarthen 2 Ace Award, it's really going to be up for grabs in the ML. It purely is just going to come down to performance per inning.
Yeah.
Next, we got the Ryan XVI Dinger Award. That's going to go to Ash most likely.
I mean, I'm only 1 above of Doug right now.
I know. I was gonna say he's easily within striking distance.
I just said most likely because he's leading right now. I didn't catch you out, my sweet child. Next up, Guest Rizzo Dime Award. I got a snake in my boot. It's gonna be Ash.
Yeah. I mean, last season I was like, yeah, I'm gonna win Gold Glove, but in reality I was kind of like average at outfield. But like this season, This season I've been quite good.
You've been pulling some pay type bullshit this season.
Like, yeah. That's, yeah.
But looking at some of the other stats, there's some cool things happening. Like, not to toot my own horn or nothing, but I'm leading stolen bases.
Stolen bases don't really matter.
Not
That's
many
why I
people
said
do them.
The only reason I keep track of stolen bases is because I wanted to put something in the fielding bar to make it not shorter than the pitching and hitting bar, which it is anyway. But I just wanted to
it's
add
just
it
that
just
the
to add it.
pitching. It's just that the pitching one is longer because of Peck.
Yeah, it is. It's longer because of Kip and Peck, but I'd like to get the public's opinion of Peck. What do you guys think of the Peck stat, if you've even heard of it?
What about Kip? Yeah,
Kip is... We've already known about Kip. It just... We haven't, like, put it in the spreadsheet before.
yeah, but I mean, it's like I feel like it's a. I mean, people can say what they want, but at the end of the day, I feel like it's a very effective stat in representing where the outs are coming from.
I suppose.
Because
But
I mean,
there
if
is something to be said about a pitcher who only allows weak and easy out contact.
I agree that there is something to say about that, but like then the Kip doesn't really matter for them. The Kip is just representing if you're a pitcher on the mound, are you gonna be a strike dominant, like a K dominant pitcher, or are you gonna be a pitcher that's gonna be more reliant on your outfield? Like if I let's say I want to look at Nass's stats. Let's say Doo-Wop is going to be starting the next game, and I'm looking at his Kip. I can automatically tell right off the bat that a little bit more than half that probably a little bit more than half the innings he's going to get 2 or more strikeouts. Like it helps me know where he stands as a physical pitcher, so that can help develop my batters, because they're going to know, all right, he's a guy that's getting a lot of Ks, so he's probably having a routine that's letting him exploit something about the batter.
Yeah. Something interesting I'd like to point out, there's only 2 players in the RBC who have a 3 Kip. And, oh, there's 4. 3. I'm sorry. There's Doo-Wop Finn with 1 inning pitched. There is,
I don't feel
Ace
like
07.
count.
Ace 07 with 1 2/3 innings pitched, and JS with 0.3 innings pitched.
The Kip is like very weird for people who only pitch 0.3 of an inning.
It's kind of broken.
It's just because the math is off, so I feel like just writing, and like for those that have pitched 0.3, just writing NA. Because the math doesn't work properly.
But what else we got to talk about? Start putting your questions in the comments. We've quite a few fewer people on the stream, so we want to give everyone an opportunity to say things before we head out. But
because this is not going to be a long one like the other ones we've been doing. It's a school night.
yeah, it is a school night. I have to sleep soon. But Series 7 and Series 8, I know Series 6 is not over. Series 6 Game 2 is going to be a very competitive game between RVC and NAS. That's going to be probably as competitive, if not more competitive, than this game today. I'm pitching assumptions that I'm making is that NAS is going to pitch either Juice or Doug, and that RVC is going to pitch either Darkar or Peyton. And regardless of who pitches, I think that it's going to be a very close game.
Yo, not to get off topic or anything, but have you been seeing those fights at Pay School?
No, and that is quite off topic. So we're going to head back to the topic. Anyway,
all right.
Suns Mountaineers Game 2. We'll see how that goes.
Series 7 predictions. Shoot.
Series 7. RVC UPS 2-0 RVC. LLS Aces versus NAS. Ooh, that's actually a very good series. I'm gonna say split. I'm
Yeah,
gonna say split right now, but I would lean it towards 2-0 Nass if I had to pick somebody.
whoa,
West
whoa.
Virginia and Mac 2-0.
I think yeah, Mac.
Series 8.
Series 8, West Virginia versus Rock Valley.
2-0 RVC.
Yeah, RBC's gonna sweep
Unless
Nass versus...
Aqua pulls something out of his butt and completely destroys RVC, RVC is gonna win that series. And then Nass and
Nass
Mac,
versus
that's gonna
split.
be a good series, probably split. And then UPS
Sweep.
2-0, or yeah, Aces 2-0. And then we start the playoffs.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, just you wait until I can get a majority of my team batting over .400, and you know that we're gonna be World Series contenders if I can do that.
Yeah.
And also, a big thing I've noticed about Raxos as a pitcher, very similar to Jafar. Very
Really?
similar.
In
When
what
I
way?
was batting against him, and a lot of the things that my players were saying after going up against him is the speed of the pitch.
That was the issue. It's hard to actually see the pitch.
It's just like when that's mentioned, I like automatically know what to do.
Yeah.
Because when like they were saying that and I started realizing that when I was at my at bats, I went .500 and I started off 0 for 3 or 0 for 2.
Yeah, I started figuring out his style as well. But he
I
still
don't know
has
how you
been.
can possibly throw that fast.
He's very
ping.
good. I'm not gonna negate that at all. It's just like as as the person who originated the super quick pitch, like you can't make something for yourself and not know how to counter it.
Yeah.
So when I see how he's pitching, like my sensors just kick in. But comp when comp had a 1.0 batting average against him.
Okay.
Or no, he went .5. But still, like the fact that
His
he's a
style
rookie.
feasts upon inexperienced players, but inexperienced players who are used to RBC. Like players that are slow to adapt and have gone in their comfort zone to a certain style of pitching. It's literally like his ping allows him to throw fast, but his actual pitching style is one of the more basic pitching styles.
Yeah. Who would you say has the most unique or best pitching style? I'll answer to but neither of us can say ourselves.
Honestly, I'm gonna say Broken. And here's why. A lot of pitchers in the RBC, and when I say a lot of pitchers, I mean a lot of pitchers, put so much emphasis on not throwing strikes and trying to avoid solid contact.
Yeah.
But Broken kind of just like throws strikes anyway, but the way he throws them doesn't allow solid contact unless they like really know where the ball's going. Which
Bro,
it's the reason why his KIP is so low, but it's also the reason why he has an ERA of 0 and a WHIP of .64. While he is ineligible due to innings, it's still something to look at.
Yeah. I would say, I know you're probably gonna say that there's bias, but I would say wow, because after I worked with him and just talked to him, I'm just gonna be completely honest. To me, there are two parts of pitching. There is the like just physical part of pitching, and then since season 4, I've always played with the psychological part of pitching, and you've seen that. Like,
As have
pitching is always
I mean, all good pitchers use the psychological side of pitching.
yeah, and WoW hadn't really embraced the psychological aspect. He was more of just like clicking, and I really like helped introduce him to it. And when I've seen him in practice, and when he's applied that, he has become a much more deadly pitcher because he's not predictable. The best pitcher.
Used to be an ace back in like season 7, or 6.
Season 6, he was an ace on Charlotte.
Right.
Yeah, like the best pitchers are the ones that are unpredictable, and he became predictable after Charlotte because people kind of picked up on it. But when you lose that predictability and people don't really know how you're gonna go, you become a much bigger threat, and that's something that I've been working on with him.
Something that I think is going to happen in the RBC in the next couple seasons is I think that batters are going to start getting more of an advantage.
In what manner?
Just in general, like batters are going to start hitting better. I think that a lot of the reason why batters haven't been hitting as well recently is just because the pitching is faster, and back before in season 6 and before, pitching, you could actually like feasibly react to a pitch in a relative time frame. But I feel like that the good hitters, the people who are batting pretty high, already know that it's not about seeing and hitting anymore. It's about knowing what you're gonna face.
That's cap.
And reading what they're
But I think that since this training is becoming more widespread, like everybody or most of the people on Cougars this season, I've never coached before, with the exception of Base. Like, hold on, let me look at my roster real quick. Other than Jiff and Base, I don't think I've coached any of these people.
Hold on. I'm just gonna call cap on your entire theory that you just stated because I personally bat as I analyze the pitch leaving the pitcher's hand.
I mean, yeah, of course you
analyze it and swing.
You can get a short analysis, but you can't see the ball as you used to. You have to have some sort of guess as to what they're gonna throw you before.
Yeah, I've talked to Comp, and that's how Comp and I are batting it. That we'll analyze the pitch before we decide to do anything to it. But we obviously have talked about like scenarios about the probability of a pitcher going for a pitch, like a full count. Like a pitcher's probably gonna go for a strike.
It depends on the pitcher, though. Some pitchers are more likely to throw balls.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I get that, but I'm just saying like the probability, like because I mean the pitchers that we're going against
this is what I do with my
pitchers.
team. Like I use my information based on the pitcher to like help them figure out what's coming, because like. For example, a 3-1 count with Tornado and Juice. Who's more likely to throw a strike?
Tornado.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Juice is a more deceptive pitching style. He throws a lot of high over the bat throws, similar to me. But I mean, about his magnitude is about to the magnitude I did last season, back when he was actually effective.
I just feel like people that throw over the bat a lot just aren't the best pitchers because...
And I moved away from that. Like, today I only threw over the bat a couple times.
Yeah, like, I'll still throw the occasional over the bat, like, because that's part of being an unpredictable pitcher. But...
Like, I literally switched styles mid-game today, and the style that I switched to is far more effective than the other one.
Like,
which I might have to see how it goes later in the season. Because I'd rather pitch again before the playoffs, but I might not, just based on the other teams we're going to play. I'm going to put other people in for UPS, but we'll see how it goes.
I don't know, I'm just hoping to, Wait a minute.
What?
I'm looking at the stats right now. So we play NAS and PS, and I'm pitching one game in each series because I've already talked to Bag, and he's very supportive of helping me set the record. So
yeah,
NAS, no offense, Doug, but like I know your team. So even if NAS does win, it's still going to be a low-scoring game like MAC.
I mean, we already beat you once this season.
You didn't. They didn't have me. They didn't have me.
No, you pitched against.
Oh.
Game 1 against Spartans Aces earlier, you pitched. And we beat you 3-1.
Oh yeah, no, that's because we didn't have the outfield.
Yeah, your outfield did not exist in that game.
Right.
Like
we didn't get to you.
Doug, I had 15 Ks that game though.
Because
my outfield didn't exist.
Final score that matters.
Yeah, but all right,
Anything to get a
Doug.
win.
Next time we play you, I have an outfield with me, and you know what?
I mean, I'm definitely
We'll
not
have
saying
to.
the
Okay,
series is
we'll
going to be
have
the
to
same.
see
This
when
is
that
a
happens.
totally different team from when we first played them.
Doug, I'm gonna talk smack until I smack your booty in this series.
Right.
When did the Aces and they played in Series 3?
Season 3. Or Series 3.
Oh yeah, the first game was 11-1.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
And
game
then
2 was 2-0.
the karma effect.
That 11-1 game was sad. Yeah, because the Series 3 game 1 is exactly when Karm was hired. It was right after that.
Yeah, and then look at that. Win, 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 win. Honorable loss. Honorable loss. Win.
We'll have to see. Next series starting probably somewhere around Wednesday or Tuesday or whenever the hell RVC ends up playing game 2.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, I think at this point RVC is much more likely to get the number 1 seed simply because their schedule is easier. Like NAS still has to play Aces and Knights. That's a
Yeah.
hard last 2 series. Meanwhile, Cougars play West Virginia or
You guys got Powder
UPS
Puff.
and West Virginia.
Yeah. Because I mean,
Because we start our halves hard and they end their halves hard.
in the last 4 games, not including like just between Series 7 and Series 8, NAS could easily go 0 for 4.
I mean,
doubt
it's
that.
I wouldn't say
it's not
easily.
likely.
I'm saying it's a
No.
possibility.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't mean, I take that back. I don't mean easily. I mean, it's definitely something that is within the realm of realism.
possibility. Yeah.
I wouldn't count on that.
I mean, it's not a high probability, but it's still within the realm of realism.
Meanwhile, Mac is getting a cakewalk to first seed. I mean, they've already clinched it. They still have 4 games left. But that's what happens when the other 2 teams in your division are bad. At least started bad. Alaska with Karm is like 5-3. I think. Yeah, I want to say 4-3 or 4-2 or something. I think it's 4-2. Yeah, it's 4-2. But
the main thing with our team is purely just that I think we would have such a better record if we just had our core outfield when I joined.
yeah, I suppose
If we
that. I agree.
if we had the core outfield, then I most definitely believe that our record would be 7-5, and Mount Adams would be 7-5.
Interesting perspective. But I mean, this series has been very decisive and deciding. So, if RVC wins game 2, they won't clinch, but they basically will have. They'll need 2 wins or NAS losses to clinch first seed. But if they lose, it could end up being a head-to-head tiebreaker. And at that point, is it really first seed? But we'll have to see how that goes going into the rest of the season, which at this rate that we're currently going, I would peg the season to end the regular season to end somewhere around the 20th of February.
Tough time.
Which, yeah, we'll have to see.
And I think that's a great note to end
What?
the season could end on the 20th.
Yeah. I mean, I actually will be out of town and completely unavailable from the 19th to the 21st, I believe.
Oh fuck. Oh fuck.
What?
Can we not have playoff series during President's Week?
What is that?
I
When
think
is
it's
that?
the 10th to 14th.
I mean, we'll still be in regular season during then.
Alright, because I'm gonna be in DC and Florida the whole time.
Welcome
Okay.
to my world, missing the entire Season 8 playoffs because I was out of town.
It do that.
I know, but like
I'm just saying,
seriously,
if that's the case, I'm not moving the playoffs because of y'all.
no, but like seriously, I gotta get to bed, so I really think we should just wrap it up.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I
Thank
gotta
you
go.
all for watching, the 6 of you who are still here. And everyone have a good night. See ya.
Have a great one.